Okay. So we will be continuing our discussion last time na dinidifferentiate natin ang patriotism and nationalism. So first, para mas maintindihan lang, ginawa na nating table. So patriotism versus nationalism. By definition, patriotism is the quality of being patriotic, vigorous support for one country, while nationalism has patriotic feeling, principles, or efforts. But it is an extreme form of patriotism marked by a feeling of superiority over other countries. Kung maalala nyo, nabanggit natin sa discussion natin last time na ang mga nationalist, ang dating ay hindi sila marunong kumilala ng ibang countries. Na ang tingin nila sa sarili nilang country, sila lang yung magaling, sila lang yung tama. But patriotism is different because it's deep love for your own country. And then when it comes to pride, patriotism is to feel proud of their country. And then in nationalism, to feel like their country can do no wrong. Hindi kami pwede magkamali. Ganun ang tingin ng mga nationalist. And then love, in patriotism, it's love for the nation, for the whole country. And in nationalism naman, their country is superior to others. Sila nga, yung mas higit sila sa ibang bansa. And then, in support, in patriotism, it's to support their country. And then, in nationalism, is to put down other countries. Yung mababa yung tingin natin sa ibang country na maaaring hindi natin sila tinatangkilik, baka inaalipusta pa. Yung ganun. Okay. So, inversion naman, ang mga under patriotism, it's only mild. And then, in nationalism, extreme sila, as in, matinding pagmamahal na sila lang ang tama. Ganun. In criticism, patriotism can tolerate criticism and might try to learn from it. Baga, may pagka open-minded sila. While in nationalism, they cannot tolerate any criticism and considers it an insult to the nation because yun nga, tingin nila sila lang ang magaling. And then in debate, patriotism will engage in debate or discussion to learn and to grow. While in nationalism, they cannot tolerate any debate or discussion and considers it an insult to the nation. And then with relationships with other nations, ang mga pertaining to patriotism will try to foster friendly relations with other nations as it will help the country grow. Kumbaga, uh, they try to become ang tawag dito? Friends with other countries. I forgot the term. Pero, yun nga, na they try to have friendly relations kasi hindi naman sa lahat ng pagkakataon meron yung bansa na yon, yung bansa ninyo. But when the time comes na makikita na ng bansa natin yung kakulangan, we can seek help from other countries. Ganun yung sa patriotism. But in nationalism, they hate or look down of other nations. Hence, they cannot make good relations. Kumbaga talagang sa sarili lang nila sila nakaasa. And then, aggression. In patriotism, they are not typically aggressive. And in nationalism, it may get aggressive. Okay. Yeah. The history of nationalism and patriotism in the country is as old as the history of humankind. Oftentimes, this is a part of the discussion in educational institutions since this is the major thrust of the government and the backbone of human principle. However, this basic understanding does not manifest in most part of the land. Dahil hindi naman sa lahat ng pagkakataon at sa lahat ng lugar ay naituturo ng maayos ang nationalism and patriotism. Actually, etong ang subject nyo na to, bago lang to eh. 2018 curriculum lang 'to. Nung kami nag-aaral ng college, wala pa 'yan. So the philosophy of nationalism nowadays does not concern itself much with the aggressive and dangerous form of nationalism that often occupies center stage in the news and sociological research, although this form can be of significantly instrumental value, mobilizing oppressed people and giving them a sense of dignity. Yung mga uh, people who consider themselves as nationalists, they may somehow be uh, given the floor, given the stage, given the time to be heard of. Ganon. Philippine nationalism is an upsurge of patriotic sentiments and nationalistic ideal in the Philippines in the late 1800s that came as a result of the Filipino propaganda movement from 1872 to 1892. I think you're familiar with this kasi high school pa lang or maybe elementary, itinuturo na itong mga history na ito. It became the main ideology of the first Asian nationalist revolution, the Philippine Revolution of 1896. Spain already ruled the Philippines for about 333 years before Philippine nationalism was developed because dahil nga sinakop tayo, kumbaga, wala tayong sense of identity. Hindi natin masabing, Pilipino ako. Hindi ako, ah, ang bansa ko Pilipinas at hindi ito teritoryo o hindi ito colony ng Spain. Kailan na lang yun na-realize ng late 1800s na. Toward the 19th century, the bureaucratic centralized government established in Manila has caused widespread discontent in the entire archipelago. But there was yet no united front against the Spanish regime. Many revolts were caused by either personal discontent or of territorial defense. Kumbaga, hindi pa tayo solid. Hindi pa solid ang Pilipino. Kaya, madaming revolusyon, daming revolts, pero ang dating ay personal na dahilan. Hindi ito bilang nagkaisa yung mga Pilipino na mag-revolution. Ganun yun dati. Okay? Then the belated development of Philippine nationalism was caused by the natives' tendency to be rationalistic. The geography of the Philippines did not help. Alam niyo naman kung gaano kadami yung mga islands natin. Talagang, dahil nga archipelago tayo, hiwa-hiwalay talaga. Kaya, mahirap magkaisa. Wala pang mga GC noon. Kaya, mahirap na makipag-communicate din sa ibang Pilipino sa ibang lugar. Uh, the Philippine Insular and the people were divided by water. In fact, the term Filipino originally meant Spaniards born in the Philippines and not the native inhabitants. Okay. But certain events eventually led to the development of native patriotism. Things that happened which transcended the cultural and geographical boundaries that had been barriers to the unification of the inhabitants of the archipelago. So yun yung isa sa mga kinaharap na problema kung bakit hindi magkaisa yung mga Filipinos because of our physical barrier, yung ating geography. Kasi nga, pulo-pulo tayo, hiwa-hiwalay. Yun. The Philippines have cradled from the past up to the present times. Some of these greatest heroes that inspired millions of Filipino people in every generation and through their works and visions revolutionized the course of Philippine history. Dr. Jose P. Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines and the pride of the Malayan race, through his inspirational works and radical novels became the icon of freedom during the Philippine Revolution in 1896 to 1898. Familiar naman kayo sa mga gawa ni Dr. Jose Rizal, di ba? So Filipinos have a great list of historical personalities. Napakadami nating bayani. People often found in books and other reading materials with abundant discussions from their birth, legacies, and death. Diba? Si Goyo, ang batang general. Mga ganon. Daming, yun nga, icons. Ang dami nating mga personalities, historical personalities na nag-represent sa Filipinos when we wanted, when we evoked our patriotism and nationalism. However, we have more heroes than we expected. There are many personages who, instead of being the central character of most historic battles and events, find themselves more useful as undercover or doing what seems to be minor yet equally significant tasks. In criminology, in order, in criminology or in law enforcement, in order for you to become successful in a certain police operation or law enforcement operation, kahit anong operation yan, you have to have good intelligence. Hindi yung intelligence na talino. Intelligence is processed information. Hindi yung nasagap mo lang na chismis lang sa'yo. Pero yung na-chismis sa'yo, verify mo, chinek mo kung tama ba. At kapag na-verify mo na yan, na-check mo na, at na-confirm mo na legit yung information na yon, then it becomes intelligence. Kaya, ah, noon pa man, mahalaga na o na-realize na ng mga tao kung ano ang kahalagahan ng intelligence. Yung mga intel, ito yung mga undercover. Masasabi nating spies. Yan. Unsung heroes were the so-called forgotten people in Philippine history, people who unfortunately were not given much attention in traditional studies and mainstream histories, but are equally heroic in their own simple yet significant ways. Kasi ang kilala nga natin, ito sila Lapu. But hindi sila kasi mainstream. Sila yung kumbaga yung front natin. Pero hindi lang sila yung mga mako-consider natin na bayani. Kasi nga meron tayong mga unsung heroes or the forgotten people, those who were working undercover. They are the peripherally discussed or rarely mentioned people who have nonetheless distinguished themselves for their heroic deeds and martyrdoms. And lastly, what am I next? They have often worked behind prominent heroes. Yung prominent heroes, yung mga kilala nga natin, but have done dangerous and complicated tasks which made many battles and revolts possible if not successful. And now, Filipinos should recognize the heroism and patriotism of these unsung heroes who have contributed to the development of Filipino nationalism and the transformation of Philippine society. So, hindi ibig sabihin na ang hero ay yung sikat. Kasi madaming heroes, yun nga, yung mga unsung heroes, na hindi naman kilala. Imagine, kung spy ka tapos kilala ka bilang spy, would you be effective? Would you be an effective spy? Of course not. Hindi magbibigay ng impormasyon ng kahit sino sa'yo. Hindi sila magtitiwala. Kasi alam nilang spy ka eh. Pero, pero hindi ko sinasabi na hindi pwede maging spy ang isang sikat na tao. May mga ganyan. Sikat sila, and then hina-hire sila as spy, yun, mas madali silang nakaka-roam, nakakagala, at mas madaling nakakakuha ng information. Ang hindi lang talaga dinadivulge is that they are actually spies. May mga ganun. Okay. And that's it for Module 2.